Welcome in, I'm Artris, and I am as sick as a dog right now. Just came back from Bandai Card Fest. It was a lot of fun, had a great time playing in the LCQ. Barely missed making it to the Nats with that invite. And then, of course, the Bandai Card Fest was really fun. But I came back from it all with a little bit of a flu. And I almost didn't make this video because of it, because I'm feeling really rough right now. However, the show must go on. And as I was sitting here thinking about what video to do, I was thinking, what is sicker than me? Being able to drop a 10-cost Big Mom on turn 4. And so with that being said, we're going to go and look at Charlotte Pudding, a new leader from OP08 in purple and yellow, a 4-life leader. And it says, when attacking, you may turn the top 2 life cards of your life face up, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck as rested. So this being a Big Mom Pirates type, naturally, you're going to want to include Big Mom Pirates, and you can ramp up to the big 10-cost Big Moms. Before we get into the deck list, though, if you find anything in this video useful or informative, please make sure to drop a like and a sub. It helps out the channel immensely. Additionally, if you'd like to talk about the One Piece card game outside of the YouTube comments, make sure to join the Discord. The link is in the description below. So basically, with this leader, what you're trying to do is ramp up as fast as possible and play your big boss monsters and just chain them consecutively so that you're overwhelming the opponent. How do you do that? Well, in the early game, you're using a lot of searchers. In the mid game, you're using things to either ramp up or maybe play some defensive units. And then once you get to 10 Dawn, all hell breaks loose and you can just play as many big bodies as your heart desires. So let's get into the deck list here. I'm running 4 Mr. 2 Bond Clay. This is from EB01. On play, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck is active. When attacking, choose up to 1 of your opponent's characters. This character has the same base power as the chosen character for this turn. This is a choice that I've made to put this in the deck. I like it if I'm going second. Being able to ramp up a little bit faster and then use leader ability is also very nice. And you can get to 10 Dawn really quickly with Mr. 2 Bond Clay. And so 4 makes sense for me. Other decks decide not to run this, but I think it's a pretty good choice. Then I'm running 3 of the 2K Sanji, which is a blocker as well as being a 2K. The effect of all, you have 2 or more fewer Dawn than your opponent. This card costs 3 less in hand. You're usually never going to use that because, well, you're trying to ramp up and you don't really minus Dawn in this deck. Mostly it's a searchable 2K. Next, one of the most important cards of this deck, and a new card from OP08, is the 6-cost Charlotte Katakuri. It's a 6-cost, 7,000 power body with a 1K counter, and on play, you may flip the top card of your life face down, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. What you're trying to do with this is you're trying to go first, use your leader ability, and flip the first 2 life up, and then your opponent will likely hit you. You take that first hit, you're down to 3 life, the top one being exposed. You play this on 6 Dawn, flipping that card down, gaining a Dawn active, swing 6 with your leader, and then use the leader ability to flip the other 2 life back up. And then you're going to be at 8 Dawn at the end of the turn, which means on your turn 4, you will be able to play 10-cost Big Mom. So this is definitely a must at 4. This card is very important and vital to the game plan of what you are trying to do. Next, I'm running 2 of the new 9-cost Charlotte Linlin. This is a 9-cost, 9,000 power body. It is an on-play Dawn -1, trash 1 card from your hand, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life, then place up to 1 of your opponent's characters the cost of 6 or less to the top or bottom of its owner's life face up. I was running a list earlier that had 4 of these in it, and I do think that it is a really good card. It's probably one of my favorite cards to come out of OP08. I think that this card just kind of does it all. It's removal, it sustains you, and it has a big body on top of it. The only downside to this card in this deck specifically is that you're minusing a card from hand, and I think Pudding has a problem with hand size regardless because you're trying to stay as healthy as possible so that you can safely play your big bombs. And so I took this down to 2. I think you can run it at more, but I think for the sake of this video, I'm running it at 2, and we've replaced it with some other things that we'll get to a little bit later. Then I'm running 2 of Viola, which is an EB01 blocker. On play, look at all of your opponent's life, then return them in any order, or you can use the second effect, turn all of your life cards face down. More often than not, you're going to use that second ability, unless maybe you're going against yellow. But I think for the most part, you're using the second ability to be able to flip all of your life cards down and then ramp up again with your leader ability. Very useful in most situations. Next, we're running 4 Charlotte Flampe. This is a 1-cost 2K counter. On play, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand, draw 1 card. Very nice. This is allowing you to draw 2 cards in a turn, your life card, and then the one on top of the deck. Sometimes if opponents want to starve you, or if there's a card in your life that you want to get, like maybe a 10-cost Big Mom is in your life, and you don't have one in hand, you can use the Flampe to grab it instead. So that's very practical use here. And of course, it is a Big Mom Pirate, so it is searchable by the searchers in this deck. Of course, another staple of this deck in the Pudding deck is the 1-cost Pudding Searcher. It says on play, look at 4 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Big Mom Pirate's type other than Charlotte Pudding, or up to 1 Sanji and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. So you're going to be able to grab a lot of your pieces. Typically, what you're going to do is mulligan for this card and possibly maybe the 6-cost Katakuri or a 10-cost Big Mom. But if you have this card, usually you can find the things you need with it instead of just having to kind of hope to draw into those. Of course, this deck wouldn't be anything without the 10-cost Charlotte Linlin. This has been a monster ever since it has come out. Probably one of the best, if not the best, 10-cost in the game. If your leader has a Big Mom Pirates type, place 1 card from the top of your deck at the top of your life, then trash up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life. So with this card, you are able to heal, trash a card from your opponent, and then have a huge body that will likely be unanswered for the next turn. So this is a huge threat, and I am really scared of this deck because of this card. Another tech card I decided to add in was the 8-cost Charlotte Katakuri. This is an on-play, put up to 1 character with a cost of 8 or less on the top or bottom of its owner's life area face up. I think this card is very useful and needed in some matchups like Bonnie. If they're able to play the 8-cost Kid, this will help answer it. If you're going against Black Yellow Luffy, this card can also help answer some threats and put them in life, and then you can swing into them. So that's very useful as well. You could run this at more. You could run it at none at all. I've decided to run it too. I think that there are some uses for it, and that's why I've put it in the deck. Now for some yellow good stuff, we are running 4 Capone Beige, a 2K counter that says trigger up to 1 of your opponent's leaders or characters cannot attack during this turn. There are many times where this has triggered out of life, and I've won because of it. And so why not add it to this deck? Because, you know, a 2K counter that can win the game is very good. Next, I'm running 2 10-cost Portuguese D-Ace. This is an on-play. You may add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. Then if you have 2 life cards or less, this character gains Rush for this turn. I think that if you don't see your Charlotte Linlins and you have an ace, I think that's very nice to see. Additionally, though, I will say that this card, I was running it at 4, and I think that it kind of competes with the 10-cost Linlin, and you might not need it at 4. I just really like this card, and so I wanted to run it at more than what it was. But I think that 2 is probably the sweet spot for this card. It can help close out games. The unexpected rush is very nice. You can feel comfortable going down to 1 life and then playing this down. So yeah, Ace is a very good card. It can help trade into the board as well. So I like it probably at more, but I think for the sake of the video, we're going to run it here at 2. Then I'm running 4 of the 7-cost Charlotte Linlin. On play, your opponent chooses one of the following. Either they trash 1 life card from the top of their life, or they put 1 card from the top of your deck on the top of your life area. Having your opponent choose and make decisions is, I think, a very important thing in this game because they can make mistakes and you're leaving that decision up to them. So, you know, it may be one of those scenarios where they make the wrong decision and they end up trashing a life. And because they trashed a life, then you are able to close out the game faster. Or maybe they heal you and you get an extra trigger that would have been really useful, or the sustainability from that is very nice. So I'm running 4 of these. I don't know if I like this card at 4, but I think we're going to try it out at 4, and as time goes on, maybe I'll take it down to a smaller quantity. To fill up the 6 Dawn spot, I'm also running 2 of the Edward Newgate. This is an on-play. Add the top card of your deck to the top of your life cards, then look at all of your life cards, place one of the cards on the top of your deck, and then return the remaining life cards in desired order. So you're able to essentially kind of do a pseudo Charlotte Katakuri 6-cost effect. You can maybe use that to put a card that was face up to the bottom, and then you can use your leader effect, or you can put it into life. You can also see what triggers are in the life and stack them appropriately. So Newgate has some good practicality, although I don't really want to use it that often. I'd rather see the 6-cost Charlotte Katakuri, but Newgate is just as fine, I suppose, in the 6 Dawn spot. Then I'm running 3 of the 1-cost event. We're going to claim the One Piece. This is a main. If your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates or Big Mom Pirates type, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal it to 1 Animal Kingdom Pirates or Big Mom Pirates type card, and add it to your hand, and the triggers activate this card's main effect. So you're just using it to find all of your Big Mom Pirates. So it's an additional pudding. The reason I'm running 1 less of this than maybe the pudding is because it doesn't grab the Sanji, and on top of that, it doesn't have counter. And so sometimes it can be just an awkward card in hand. Then I'm running 4 of the zero cost event, You're the One Who Should Disappear. This is a counter. You may trash 1 card from your hand, and your leader or up to one of your characters gains plus 3,000 for this battle. And the trigger is if you have 0 life cards, put the top card of your deck into your life pile, then trash 1 card from hand. So it's essentially like an additional 4 copies of beige if it is the last life. And sometimes that does pop up with the new gate, the 6 cost new gate. You can see if it's there, and then you can use it and put it to the bottom of life. But the other thing is your deck has a fair amount of bricks, and sometimes you just need to be able to counter out effectively, and having cards that may be not as useful in the later stages of the game, the zero cost event really helps change that and make it a little bit more fluid of a deck. So overall, I think Pudding might take some people by surprise at the start of this meta, mostly because I think Red Purple Law is not around anymore, and so the aggression that you see from other decks aren't going to be quite there. You're going to see Reiju, of course. You're going to see Zoro, the Zoro version of that, maybe a couple of other aggro decks, but I think for the most part, people are going to be playing like a slower control style game, and so I think Pudding really excels in those matchups, and I think that, at least in the start of the meta, very similar to how Katakuri is, Pudding will probably take a lot of games that maybe people didn't expect her to take. So anyway, let's take it into Sim and see how it does. All right, going against Vegapunk here. I think Vegapunk actually has a pretty strong shot in this meta as well. I like this hand. We have everything we need, and we're going first. The only downside is that they're not going to attack into us, so we're not really going to be able to ramp up as efficiently. I think it's fine to just go ahead and grab maybe a Searcher. No, we can't even grab that. I don't know why I tried. A 2k counter it is. For the next turn, we'll probably just swing 5 here and then 5 with the Pudding. I think that's probably fine. Additionally, what we can do in order to ramp up to guarantee that, I think what we can do is probably just go 5 lead, show this, that's fine. Let's go ahead and flip all of our life down and then pass. I'm not too sure if they're going to attack into us. So one of the things that's really important going into Charlotte Pudding is that you should probably not attack the first turn if they have their life face up. So you're not giving them that extra ramp to get to 10. But knowing Vegapunk doesn't attack and that Lilith might know the strat, yeah, they're not wanting to attack, and that's totally fine. Let's go ahead and just do this. Let's swing in for 5. Use the card action. We're going to play the Katakuri, get 1, and then play the event. And I don't think we can grab any of these. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. We'll pass the turn. We do have the Big Mom to play the next turn. We are pretty low on hand size, unfortunately, though, so it is what it is. This turn, they're probably going to heal. They are getting a lot of cards here. Insane. So let's go ahead and... I don't want them to gain any more cards in hand, so let's go ahead and swing 5. I'm not going to use the card action. There's really no point. Sometimes I'll do it just to see what I have coming to me, but yeah, I think it's fine not to do that. We'll go 7 at lead. The block? Okay. Block 2k and pass. That's fine. This next turn, they'll be able to heal. If they decide to give me a 7-cost Linlin, okay. They are just going to Raigo it. That's totally fine. We're going to play the 7-cost Linlin and be on our way. Of course, that's to be expected, but at least they're not playing any other threats or any bodies right now, so that's good. They do have to heal, of course. And looking at what they have in trash, they can get an Edison. They can get a Nico Robin. They might just block and then bring it back out with the Please Save Me. So let's go ahead and play this first because they're not going to trash the life. They're going to definitely heal us. Let's swing 7. Let's swing 7. I'm not going to use the card action. I'm going to use the Flampe, though, because I do want to grab some cards from life. And I don't want to have the threat. Well, I guess it won't really matter too much. They can Yamato us. They can go up to 1 and then Yamato KO the Katakuri. Heal to 2. That is pretty annoying. We're not able to find a second 10 cost, so that's, I think, crucial for us. But we are building a board, which is nice. Yeah, They're probably going to heal, and they're at 9, so then they can go Yamato, KO the Katakuri. That's fine. And they're not wanting to attack, so I guess we will just swing 7. Swing 8. I don't want to do anything where they can heal and KO our stuff. So we're not going to do anything because they can Yamato our stuff at this point. We're going to have to force them to use it. They're going to have to heal and then play a Yamato. I don't want to heal them because what I ended up doing, if I heal them with the Lilith, then they can just go Yamato and KO the Linlin. This way, they're not doing it naturally, right? They could have just healed first and then used it to KO the Linlin, but that's fine. In order to remove some of the threats on board, I might just attack into the Yamato if they decide to swing pretty heavy here. But yeah, not seeing anything is pretty annoying, to be quite honest. We could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. We could go 7. Eight, 8. Flip it all down. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at that point. So here they're going to have to heal probably twice. They could go like the leader ability plus the Yamato. Leader ability plus Yamato will definitely get them somewhere. It'll definitely KO this Sanji. But I think we're just going to counter out. Yeah, this matchup definitely needs the 10 cost. And not this matchup specifically. I think just any game you need it. But keep our threats on the board as much as possible. And then just start attacking really heavily. They don't have a Yamato. That's fine. So they can only heal 1, it looks like. So we might be able to just close out the game if they don't have a second heal, because they can't go like 7 cost Linlin into anything else. So they definitely have to heal here. Only 1 heal. They might just put the rest on Lilith. That's a possibility. Sorry if the energy's not there today as well. I'm trying to recover as best as possible. I'm cozying up to a nice warm tea. Trying to help my throat feel better. Man, Bandai Card Fest was a lot of fun, though. I'll say that. There was a fair amount of people just having like a great collection. You could walk up and be like, oh, are you trading this? Are you buying? Are you selling? Whatever it may be. And just being able to look at people's binders is really cool. Cool. Get rid of the Viola. Probably should have done that to begin with, just as like a precaution, I think. But yeah. I think we're just going to go all in. We're going to go 9. 9. This will require a lot of cards from hand. I am going to go all in, by the way. I definitely want to try to force as many cards out as possible. And if it means losing the board for a turn, I guess that means losing the board for a turn. But we're sitting at 5 life, so we're pretty comfortable right now. Okay. They dropped a lot of cards. 4 cards for that. It's pretty insane. They just didn't have it. Okay, wow. I think that we got extremely lucky there. I think that we didn't see our 10 cost or enough 10 cost, and we could have thrown. But I think we just managed to hold on very, very loosely. I think that this matchup, if you can get multiple 10 costs, you're probably sitting okay. The early Raigo definitely hurt, though. I'll give him that. Okay, going against King, I actually think King is a really strong leader. I'm not saying that like unironically. I do think it's a pretty strong leader, but I'm going to mulligan this hand. Even though it had a searcher, I didn't see it. I want to see 2 pieces when I mulligan, and we have the 2 pieces we need here. So now we can try to find the 10 cost Big Mom. We didn't find it, so we'll just take the 2k counter and pass. This next turn, we'll just swing 5 and 5, more than likely. So that could be something. Yep. Let's go 5, use our leader ability. We get a pudding off the top. And we're going to go 5 again. And then pass the turn. They'll probably swing the queen into the pudding here. And then maybe 6 into lead. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. Cool. That works. We'll take it. And now what we can end up doing is just go 6 here. This is what I was talking about. This is the combo where you're able to flip this down, gain the 1, and then you can use your leader ability to flip these up, and now you're at 8 Dawn. So that's very potent. If we can find a 10 cost Big Mom, that's really good here. We don't find it, unfortunately, so we'll just grab the 7 cost and pass. We're not looking too good right now. We need to be able to find the 10 cost Big Mom to be able to play these threats appropriately. But that's okay. Ocean Sovereignty is pretty strong. Being able to get rid of our 6 cost is good. I think we just counter out. Even if it means giving up a 2k, I think that's fine. We'll play the Big Mom. They'll probably heal us, and then we can just swing 8. And pass the turn. They have 9 cards in hand. This is an insane card advantage they have. Although I will say them being at 1 life, that's probably not the best for King. Ice Age, Jack, totally fine. Yeah. To be expected there. Not a problem. Now, if they have 10 cost Kuzan, that could be a little bit of a problem, of course. We'll take this one. Just in the nick of time. Go 5 lead. Cool. Maybe we should have played the 7 cost Big Mom just to gain that extra life. But who knows? Hard to tell. Is it double Ice Age? No, it's Ice Age plus leader ability plus Jack. That's fine. Cool. I think we just go here. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, we're fine with this. We are fine with this. Put this back at the top. Finish sorting. And then go 9. They're gonna have to continuously answer like the things that we throw down. Or put blockers up, which is not impossible for King. They are able to stall out, and if they can take care of the 1 body a turn, then that's really good for them. Let's see here. We could go Big Mom next turn. I think we should, right? I don't know if they would want to do like the Jack cycle. They're probably just going to draw a card. Yep. We'll take this. And counter out of this one. And this next turn we'll go here. Go here. We might be able to counter out of this one. Okay, that's fine with us. And then we'll pass turn. So now they have to deal with another Big Mom. And they have These two blockers in the way. If they throw up another blocker, then they're doing really well. They're stalling out. Oh my god. Is that all of Ice Ages? Like 1, 2, 3. They've seen 3 Ice Ages. The top half of their deck. Pretty insane. Yeah, we can take that. Another Big Mom. This is where Ace would be really handy. So we can go 5, 7 again. They've seen 4 Ice Ages. That is incredible. I can't even be mad about that. That's insane. Then we just counter out of whatever else they throw at us. It does feel bad just playing a 10 cost Big Mom, but you're just healing with that, so that's nice. This is one where they just probably swing with like their units. Totally fine. Yeah. Oh, look at all these blockers. They're just walling up. It's insane. We'll go here. We'll go here. And we'll pass the turn. They have 3 cards left in hand, and they have these 3 blockers here, which is going to be a hurdle for us to get across, but we might be able to do it. We'll have to see what they do here. They did, I would say they drew into their deck really well. We're going to counter out of this. Are they going to go 11 at it? They might. Looks like they don't have anything else here. And I don't either, but I think what we can do is probably go here. Go 8. Okay. We're getting cards out of hand, which is good here. We're getting a lot of 2Ks out. This 9 cost is not really that great right now. King doesn't answer anything on the board. It's just a dead card in hand. They can cycle it with the Jack, which is very nice. But if we can keep this Big Mom alive, I think we're sitting pretty good. We'll take this. Ace is also pretty much what we needed to see, I think. I've been holding out to get an ace. So maybe they'll attack one more time. I don't really know if the Jack has anything to do at this point in the game. They've stalled out incredibly well, but I think we might be able to close out this next turn. I imagine they're probably going to swing the Jack into face. If I were them, I'd probably put just 1 under. Probably draw a card here. Put 1 under the Jack. They're just trying to KO it. Okay. I see. They're going king. That's fine. That's not really too big of a concern for me. Yep. Now, we might be able to bait them. We might be able to bait them here with just the leader swing. They might just like, oh, I'm going to go queen. Or block. We'll go here. And here. And then we just have to hold out for however many attacks they might have, which I think we might be okay. Depends on how they math it out. We can get out of an 8, 10, 11. As long as they don't put much under the Black Maria, I think we should be okay. So what math could they do here? They could go 9 again, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12. So they might go like 10, 11. So we'll take it. This is an 11, so we go 8, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we have enough. Yep. They held out really well. I think that they saw exactly what they needed, but fortunately we did get Big Moms. Although we did get them at really awkward times where they were at 0 life. It kind of feels weird just playing it down, but getting a body that they might not be able to answer is probably the best play there. They were able to answer it multiple times with Ice Ages into 7 cost Jack ability, so or 11 cost Jack ability rather. But yeah, I think that the way that they built this deck, not awful. Definitely not awful, but I think that I would probably try to include Kuzan, 10 cost Kuzan, because at that point they can just get rid of everything every turn. This is a sibling battle. We're going to go first. I think this hand is fine. I say it's fine because I have 2 things I can play. I also have another searcher in case the first searcher doesn't pull through. But we'll get a 2k off of it and then pass the turn. We didn't see exactly what we need, but that's okay. This next turn, we'll play the 1 cost event. Hopefully grab a 10 cost Big Mom. We want to be able to play ours sooner than theirs. They do have one, of course. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous at all. Why would I be jealous? And then we're going to go and just swing 7. This next turn will be maybe a little awkward because we don't have a 6 cost Katakuri. So that's something to keep in mind there. We're definitely going to have to take this hit. They might swing like 5 with this. We just give them a 2k. I don't really care that much. I think this is probably another pair of Sparrow play. Oh, they're just going in. What the heck? That's insane. Woo! We always had it. Always had it. Let's go. This next turn, we can use our 10 cost Big Mom. A full 2 turns ahead of them, or at least 1 turn, I guess. This is a turn where, do we take any life? I mean, we'll probably have to take the leader swing. We might have to take a pair of Sparrow swing. I should have swung the pudding at this, but I didn't. So we're going to counter out of that, because why not? Okay, and then what is this for 5? It might just be a pudding. Okay, sure. They left at the top. They left this one at the top, so what we can do is we can swing 5. They'll counter out. Seven here. I feel like they should just block it, unless this is like a trigger of a body. Oh. Then pass. They're going to be at 8, so 8 could be like a 7 cost. They might play Katakuri. I don't know. I really don't know what they would have. I think 7 cost Big Mom is their best play here. They're running Soul Pocus, which is a little interesting. I see that some decks have added this in. I don't quite like it, though. Definitely an interesting card to add into this. I think what their play should be is like swing 5 with the Pair of Sparrow, swing 7 with their leader, and then play a 7 cost Big Mom. And I'll probably choose to heal them. They also might just go 7 at Katakuri. Oh, they're going really, really hard. So they're not playing 7 cost. Interesting. So they're going to go 9. We can still counter out of this. I think we do, right? Yeah, they're just trying to get rid of the board. And I think that's okay. Double blocker. All right. Another 10 cost Big Mom would be very clutch right now. Okay. Well, we didn't get it. Okay, so, geez. We'll force them to give us a life. And then go 8. They might be able to have enough counter here. They don't. Or they might. I don't know. I feel like if I were them, I would counter out of that. But them getting that beige trigger is pretty good there. I think they knew it was there, though. I don't think they've moved anything to the bottom. So the chances of them having a zero-cost event, we'll take this. Cool. What we're going to end up doing is just countering out of this one, and then they'll trash the top one. Fine. 10 cost Big Mom, 10 cost Big Mom, 10 cost Big Mom, please. I'll go 7 here. 7's really awkward for Katakuri. Katakuri actually doesn't like 7s. That's nice. We'll play another one. And it's more than likely going to be that they give us a life. Yeah. We'll go 8. And then if... Depends on what they do here. They are able to counter out. Was it a misplay? I think they misplayed it. They give me a 2 and a 1. Okay, so we'll just swing 12. They have to block. And then pass the turn. So their best bet here might be to play another Linlin. Might be to play an ace. As long as this 10 cost survives, I'm okay. They also might try to push for game here, but I don't think they realistically can because of the beige in life. We'll just have this where they can't attack. This might be a 10 cost and then put me down to 0, put them up to 1. I think the only way we lose at that point is if we get like a 0 cost event into a 0 cost event into like a beige, which I've gone against something like that before. So knock on wood, it doesn't happen again. But yeah, I think that it's pretty much over here. Them countering out 2 and 1. Oh, easy. You just trash. Oh, it was a 0 cost event. No! That's okay. It doesn't matter. We have enough anyway. At that point, you always just trash. Yep. 7, 9, 11, 13. Can't counter out of a 13, so we just go 13 and finish the game. They actually didn't have... It doesn't look like they had enough counter anyway. And they were sitting on a couple of big mobs. I think that's why Pudding might be a little bit... I might be wrong here, but I think that's why Pudding might be a little bit stronger than Katakuri in a meta where you can ramp up to 10 faster. A whole... Basically... 2 turns faster. I was at 10 and they had just gone into their 8. And so they didn't have really an answer to what I had on the board. And then the 7 cost big moms really pulled through there. But yeah, I think Pudding definitely, I would want to run this as opposed to the Katakuri. Even if you're a 4 life leader, just being able to ramp up to the big bodies faster is, I think, better overall. Katakuri does play a little bit differently, of course. But yeah. All right, we're going to go first. And I think this hand is... not the best. This hand is a lot worse. This hand is a lot worse, but that's okay. We'll try to make do with what we have. I think what we can possibly do is maybe swing first. See what we get off of this. So a Capone and a Viola. And then we can use a search here, get a second Linlin, and then pass. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to hit a Katakuri, really, which definitely sucks. Of course, that's where it's at. Let's put this on top. And then flip this down. And then flip up. And then we have a couple of 10 cost Big Moms that we can play eventually. It's going to be hard for them to deal with that, which is very nice for us. This is counter out. I don't think there's a reason to take a life there. We can take this one, of course. They'll probably rip a life. I think Luffy likes to rip life. There's a roll where we just swing in. And they're going to have to give us 2 cards. Yeah. There's always like a pocket that you can play against them where you're kind of just like, you can really aggro them down. And that was our pocket. It might not have been the best pocket, but the other thing is, it looks like they don't have Sabo, which I've been there before, where I just don't have a Sabo in hand. I think we have to take it, right? Then we'll go here. Counter out, that's fine. If they have Sabo this turn, then we're in a little bit more trouble. Of course, we do have the Big Mom here, which is good for us. And then just, we'll counter out of what we can. Smart for them to do that. Just see as many cards as possible. I don't think that turn would have been possible to really aggro them down. We could have. We, in theory, could have. But this turn, they're going to have to see a Sabo come down. Otherwise, they are in a lot of trouble. They only saw one little kid. This is one of the problems, by the way, of this Luffy deck, is that you sometimes just don't see what you need. Just sometimes you don't. I think it's fine to go ahead and just take this? No, we don't take this one. Is there a world where we take this? No. We just have to ask for a lot of cards out of hand. This will be 1, and then the next one will be like 9, 11, 13. They just don't have it. Yeah, sometimes, I'm going to be honest, sometimes just not seeing your Sabos is enough to lose these matches. Might not be the best representation of Luffy, but sometimes it happens. All right, red, yellow, Sabo. We're going to go first here. I don't really like this hand. I think this is much better. Being able to get this is good, and then we can pass the turn. This next turn, what we can end up doing is just go 5 at lead, use the card action. We have a couple of Linlins on the way. Love to see it. Then we're going to go here, grab another Linlin, and yeah, I think this is fine. Let's flip the life down and pass. We'll take this one. And if they throw out a rush unit, we can just block it, but we don't. Let's go ahead and swing in. Use the card action. We're at 7. We're going to be at 8. And then we can just pass with the 1 Dawn. It was a little awkward, but I think that's fine. We're going to be at 10 next turn, so we should be good. This next turn, we'll just block here, right? I think it's fine to block. Take this. They might put this in life. That's fine. So it doesn't come out of life now. Swing 7. Now we have a couple of other big moms. I think I would have just countered, like, hit this with a 2K, but oh well. I digress. I think it's fine to probably play this 7 cost Big Mom. I don't know if there's a world where we really need to play this one just yet. Yeah, we can take that. Let's sort the opponent's life. That's fine. Cool. And if they decide to block here, we're just going to go at... Oh. Play mistake. Yeah. Play mistake. But knowing... Okay, they didn't really have any plays, it looked like. And we have another Big Mom on the way. Despite my play mistake, I think we had that in the bag for the most part. They could have aggroed us a little bit harder, but the Viola really came in clutch. That's why Viola is really good in yellow matchups, because you can actually organize the life. Instead of having this body come out, we didn't have to worry about it. So, yeah. All right, so despite being sick, we made it through the video. Thank you so much for making it through. I'm going to get some rest after this one, but before I do want to say that I think Pudding is probably one of the stronger decks to come out of OP08. It feels like OP08 meta is kind of in a weird spot, and I say that because it feels the exact same as the end of OP07. There's not really any new contenders in my opinion, and I think Pudding might be the only, one of the few, not only, I'm not going to be extremist there, but it might be one of the few viable new leaders to come out of OP08. King is, I think, another one that could be a potential leader. Calgara is fine as well. But I think out of all of them, Pudding might be your best bet for at least winning something or doing well. I think the biggest issue is like consistency with this deck. And I say that in a way that if you go against like aggro decks, I think you're going to struggle. We fortunately didn't see any aggro decks. Like we didn't see like Calgara is in a way like yellow aggro. We didn't see Zoro. If you go against those decks, you're going to struggle so hard. It is like one of the hardest things you can do. You're low on hand size and eventually your life goes down and you can't really rely too heavily on playing one body a turn, even if it is a Big Mom. So any other matchup though, I think Pudding is really good into. So I hope that this deck, I'm going to be honest, I hope that this deck doesn't see too much play because I think that this deck can be scary when it does get going, but I'm sure there are people will be out there that will play it, and if they do, hopefully they do well with it. Let me know if you guys decide to play it. Let me know what changes you would make, what you would do differently. Like I said, the deck list is kind of a little bit up in the air. There are some changes I would make here and there, but overall, I think this is a pretty good starting point. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Thank you all for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.